Am I happy to see you? I'm in a bit of a situation here. Locked in. And I'm not alone. What should we do? How do we get out of this room?
I'm back. Don't move. Look, you have to go. This goes way beyond you.
Detachment 93, color malfunction shows delayed signal.
Stay here. I'm coming back for you.
Welcome to my domain. See anything you like. Spot press back through walls. Spot press back through walls. Sorry to see you go.
Hello. It's Cooper. Good job getting the girl out of immediate danger. You seem to have a solid handle on things. With the arrival approaching, we're being watched more closely than ever, and so I have to pretend to work. However, I'm installing a help desk in your OmniView display. Select the help desk icon if you need my expertise along the way. Good luck tonight. No doubt, the girl would be doomed without you.
Signor Octavo joins Metamorphosis. Librarian is now preeminent manifesto scholar. I met the librarian this morning. He's a sweet man, with his heart sewn directly onto his adorable little lapel. And I do so admire his passion for literature. In a former life, I would swoon over a well-read man. But I hope for his sake, he learns to bury that part of himself. In here, following your passion is the shortest road to recalibration.
Y390H. I see you're admiring our latest installation.
Why do you keep these books away from us? I can handle them.
Maybe you're right. However, there are others in your class who are not as strong as you. And books like those can make them sick. Would it be fair to let you read them, but keep them from your friends?
That doesn't sound fair.
Well then, so are you saying you would prefer that they read them too? Will you have their illness on your conscience?
I don't want that either.
Of course not. I am not a filter for your ideas, child. I am your shield. There is so much ugliness in this world. Let me stand in the way of it. Let me stare it down. Your eyes. are too pretty to witness such things.
I appreciate the compliment, Headmaster.
390H. You must hurry along now. The rest of your class is already inside.
Why does he hold those books away from us, Senor Octavo?
It is the headmaster's belief that those books sully the minds of pre-cals and should therefore be removed from our curriculum.
But that isn't what you believe, is it?
Books like these do not paint a rosy picture of the world, but they are not meant to. They are not paintings of the world we want. They are mirrors, reflecting the world we have.
Thanks for getting me out of there. I don't know what that Prisrax's intentions were, but I'm glad we didn't stick around to find out. The library's just through these doors. The librarian will help us. He'll show us a way out of here. I'll hold on to this.
Salinger, amateur sculptor of teenage angst. In Catcher in the Rye, he forces us to watch Holden flit from school to school. Oh, poor Io, tormented by Hera's gadfly. When Caulfield realizes that he, not the institutions, beleaguer him the most, he is truly at risk. Our beloved pre-cows must never know their gadflies and ever rely on their Republique to satisfy. We don't need another Mark David Chapman.
The library. It feels so quiet after hours. It used to be filled with books. The librarian's glasses. His office is up there, 3rd floor. We should go to him now.
I've got my post secure.
Welcome to my domain. See anything you like. Leaving so soon.
Be careful. The Prizrak in this part of the facility are unpredictable in their rounds. You never know where they might turn up.
Quiet night.
Make a wish. But don't tell me what it is, or it won't come true.
I wish the headmaster was dead.
Weep. Don't talk like that.
Zager said that someday the truth will rain down on this place and wash away all of the headmaster's lies.
I've never seen the rain before.
Zager wasn't talking about the rain. He was talking about the truth.
I don't care about the truth. I just want to know what rain feels like.
The first draft rumbled from my mind and shook the page like a 9.0 earthquake. The pen was merely the needle on the seismograph, recording the shock waves.
False prophet infiltrates Metamorphosis. Masquerading as Prizrak, man brings toxic agenda to our perfect garden. The man's name is Zager, I believe. Daniel Marcus Zager. Apparently he was some kind of journalist on the outside. If the Overseer was smart, he'd label this as an act of supreme jealousy. After all, ours is a nation so wonderful that people risk death to sneak inside. Maybe we should take the initiative and lead with this angle.
To get into the headmaster's office upstairs, we will need his PIN code. I don't have it in my files, but we can recover it. We'll need to answer some security questions first.
Zager's silence deafening. The notorious terrorist is quiet, scheming. The arrival is just weeks away, and public enemy number 1 has gone radio silent. If the headmaster, or overseer, or whatever name he goes by these days, plans to take a bow on the world stage, he can't have a phantom hiding in the wings ready to sabotage his big production. I shouldn't complain. It's going to be one hell of a show.
I've got my post secure.
Check in.
No sign of the pre-cal.
Let's see what he's carrying. Got it. I'll take this.
Nothing to report.
Everything looks good.
Everything looks good.
Nothing to report.
I'll check his pockets. I got something.
No sign of the pre-cal. No sign of the pre-cal. Over there.
Welcome to my domain. See anything you like, come back anytime.
Situation is clear.
Good idea. We can recharge here.
All's quiet here.
Reporting.
quiet night.
All's quiet here. No sign of the pre-cal. Nothing.
Going in for the steal. Nice.
No sign of the pre-cal.
That's more than I can carry.
It seems this door requires Omni Level 2. You can upgrade your OmniView software at a demon server. I'm detecting a demon server near the Overseer's office. The nearest approach is from the museum.
It's the right thing to do. Librarian okay's decision to protect pre-cals from literary rot. Do you want me to literally eat my words?
Oh, I am sorry, Miss Sade. I should not have thrown that newspaper at you. But how could you write this? I did not agree to ban books. The very implication hurts me to the bottom of my soul.
Well, I am sorry about your hurt bottom. But I used only direct quotes from you, Librarian. See here. You said about Fahrenheit 451, and I quote, "It is worse than distasteful. It is revolting. Your words."
You asked me what I thought about the burning of books, not the book itself.
You did say it, though.
This is insanity! You are shameless.
Then take it up with the Overseer. And pick up this mess on your way out.
The librarian's portrait has been taken down. I hope this is only a symbolic gesture.
I'll be taking this.
What do you got? to report.
I'll hold on to this.
Clear.
I hope they can't see me here.
Illustrating in pointless detail one's sexual perversion does not make for good writing. Miller's Tropic of Cancer is about as sexy as cancer itself. Our beloved precals must never suffer the caustic eruptions of desire this book desires to make possible. Like Innocence Lost, circulated contraband cannot be totally retrieved, but it may be tended. When we remove the object of desire, we erase the possibility for descent. Ellison, who lets his nameless protagonist vacillate between conforming as an amnesiac of racial disadvantage and recalling all the doors locked by white hands. Belonging versus integrity. This book keeps open and raw such dichotomies, like festering wounds, while preserving an outdated model of social conflict. Invisible man should remain invisible. Ah, yes, Ayn Rand, the bulldozer. She dramatized the struggle for individualism against leeches. In reality, she abandoned such notions the minute they interfered with her own desires. They were socialist figments, in any case, librarian, not the true power structures that shape our lives. I'm afraid the fountainhead cannot flow, stopped up with so much hypocrisy.
Part 2 of that game company's journey towards realizing its vision for socially conscious player narratives. In Flower, we embody the wind, guiding a single petal through stunning landscapes. These moments of being one with nature are further punctuated by the drab urban home the player inhabits. Good luck surviving in this meditative space strategy game, which takes basic RTS building mechanics and wraps it together with a pleasing minimalistic visual design. Oh, and good luck pronouncing its title. If I had access to Wikipedia, I could have saved myself from asking a fellow Prizrak and Swedish native what REM capsule means. He said it means space capsule. He then reported me immediately to Derringer. Sound Shapes' mesmerizing fusion of platforming visuals and hip music is super cool, but its true value is revealed when you want to impress the people around you. Load this baby up, act like you don't care about anything and shrug a lot. You'll then be the coolest cat in the room, guaranteed.
Let's go for the steel. Got it.
Nothing to report.
British humor was hard for me to follow, but thanks to our multicultural workforce here in Metamorphosis, I'm finally able to wrap my head around the minimalist charm of Thomas Was Alone. With themes as universal as friendship and freedom, this spectacular puzzle platformer has broad appeal. Danny Wallace's narration really brings the characters to life, and is a source of inspiration for my future career in voice acting.
The first draft rumbled.
What was meant as a warning to Pearson to be on the lookout for hiding precals is actually a good suggestion for the girl. Ducking behind the plant is a great way to escape detection.
I can't carry anymore.
My battery was getting low.
Remind the girl to walk slowly. Hurried footsteps will attract the attention of the Prizrak.
Welcome to my domain. Care to purchase new abilities? Come back anytime.
Place is quiet. NTR.
Having tripped over every pesky regulation in my adopted Japan, I decided to advance my study of genetics in America, and I couldn't have arrived at a more auspicious time in history. Within a year, they had put a man on the moon.
I think this is a replica of the train the headmaster was held prisoner on.
my eyes. A decidedly rare trait I believe I inherited from my Ainu mother. My rations of stale bread and moldy cheese seemed especially cruel as our prison train crossed the Kama River into the foothills of the Ural Mountains. There, we passed one bucolic farm after another, every field dotted with plump Russian black-pied cattle. Never in my life have I felt so bereft. I would have committed the most heinous of crimes to have tasted the rich, salty goodness of their flesh. If the food was bad, the water was worse. Discolored to the point that someone must have dyed it on purpose, and the taste could only be described as septic. Were it not for my robust constitution, I would have succumbed years ago to dementia from all the lead and other heavy metals in that toxic swill.
Nothing.
If freedom of movement is one of the fundamental rights of man, then a prison train, such as this was, provided an ingenious loophole for my scheming captors. They slapped a fresh coat of paint on its rotting sides, and even went so far as to give it a rugged and exciting-sounding name, the Siberian Express.
To get into the headmaster's office upstairs, we will need his PIN code. I don't have it in my files, but we can recover it. We'll need to answer some security questions first.
Headmaster, over here.
If it isn't my favorite journalist from the Morning Bell.
It was a brilliant speech, Headmaster.
Why, thank you, Miss Sade.
Please, call me Maddie. Perhaps you could tell your citizens a bit more about the arrival. As much as you can state publicly, of course.
Of course, well, in a matter of weeks, we will take our bow on the global stage. The arrival is our world debut, and once it comes to pass, there will be little doubt that though we are a small nation and few in number, we are a force to be reckoned with.
I'm sorry, I had a follow-up, but I just got lost in the power of your voice.
Why, Maddie, please, you embarrass me.
Now, where was I? Oh, right. Your cryptic answers, which I adore, I must add.
Thank you.
But they've left some to speculate that the arrival refers to our ascension as a nuclear power.
Ah, nuclear power In the 21st century, nuclear power is a contradiction in terms. Let those dying republics split atoms to their heart's content. No, my dear Maddie, what our Republique achieved is something far more impressive. And the mark we leave on the world will last an eternity.
It's quiet tonight. No sign of the girl.
Let's see what he's carrying. Got it.
And though I was born into a world already in progress, with its arcane laws and perverse morality, with a washwoman for a mother and a question mark for a father, I knew that one day I would retire to a country of my own design, free from societal restraint.
A Zager cassette.
Upon completing the first draft, I delivered it personally to a small publishing house in the capital of France. A minor company I acquired and resurrected to suit my needs. I even went so far as to live in the rickety old apartment above the offices to personally oversee the publishing process.
I need a screwdriver to open this vent.
As you can imagine, my job here in Metamorphosis can be pretty stressful. Whenever I need to zone out, I engage my brain with Kami, which is a clever and charming puzzle game. Kami is Japanese for paper. Kami is also Japanese for God. Why do I feel closer to God when I play time-wasting puzzle games? I sure do lead a dynamite life.
Reporting.
Good idea. My battery was running low. What's yours is mine.
Salman Rushdie is about as much an idiot as Pasternak, particularly when he waxes political in Midnight's Children. Everyone wants freedom from empire until they must deal with the dolor of life without empire. His liberation of India is a distorted poetic dream. Revolutions happen unknown, except to the prescient few who take the reins. And in our time, those reins are cables that choke undesired information from the public eye.
Why, librarian, you look like you've seen a ghost.
I see many ghosts on these walls. Why would you take pictures with monsters, and worse, display them proudly?
I have sat for pictures with many important people, even people I find disagreeable.
I suspect you mean me. How could you stand beside this man here?
Not a fan of the Generalissimo, are we?
I crossed an ocean to escape Franco's brutality, only to find his brand of fascism had been imported to Argentina.
Well, I can't speak to that, but I will say I found our meeting quite pleasant. He was an excellent conversationalist, and his taste in wine impeccable.
Been this way before. We're getting closer to the headmaster's office. This may come in handy.
Kafka's Metamorphosis. Best to keep using the German title. Die Verwandlung. We cannot risk cross-contaminating the name of our grand experiment with this simplistic trash. This book portrays the act of transforming one's essence as a vile and isolating experience. Such misinterpretation would burden our children with doubt toward our own ends. Squash this vile bug, librarian.
I hope they can't see me here.
You can't hide from us. No sign of the girl.
I'll check his pockets. this?
NTR.
A Zager cassette.
Mir Mooney P takes me back in a big way. Back before the internet and FAQs, when we used to get stuck, we invested time into the game's systems enough to make the incomprehensible become familiar. Eventually, it all made sense. The payoff was worth it. Mir Mooney P wraps that nostalgic sentiment in a gorgeous package, if you can embrace the challenge.
Good idea. My battery was getting low. I don't have room for anything else.
Welcome to my domain. What are you buying? Come back anytime.
Plato's keen eyes peered further into the future than any of his Grecian contemporaries. He was, and will remain, the most vocal supporter of the classic Republic, and its earliest. While the 20s roared in America, they screamed like a Siberian windstorm in Vladimir's hometown of Simbirsk. Controversial man of the people, he was surely. And the fact that he spent time in political exile makes him that much more admirable, in my estimation. We owe a debt of gratitude to those giants whose shoulders we've stood upon. The earlier they lived, the larger their stature, and so the greater our debt. His detractors would call him an opportunist, and they would be right. But Yataro Iwasaki was given nothing less than the modest opportunity to bring an entire nation into the modern age, and he succeeded. The nerve of him. A personal favorite. For those who would criticize him for his monopolistic tendencies in the early 20th century, I say, shout it from the rooftops, or, barring that, hop online and voice your disdain in a chat forum. He would appreciate the irony. Her death in 1952 was a tragedy, not just for the Argentine shirtless who idolized her, but for the anti-Peronists who celebrated her demise. Christ had a similarly divided populace to contend with, and like Eva, succumbed to sacrifice at the age of 33. The father of Europe was besieged from all sides by pagan tyranny. And then in the year 800, he did a most remarkable thing. He held the hands of secularism and religion and married them together in what would later be called the Renaissance. It is difficult to write a story as it unfolds, but to wait until it's finished is to risk butchering the telling of it. I would rather strain the wrists of those taking my dictation than cause even a modicum of butchery.
I flock to Metroidvania games like a bee to honey. I just didn't expect to play one soaked in Mexican folklore. In Guacamelee, you play as a luchador who must fight through death to rescue El Presidente's daughter. While the premise is silly, it's clear that the developers at Drinkbox took their jobs seriously. Deep combat, epic boss battles, couch co-op. guacamole is the whole enchilada. Just don't forget to get the Super Turbo Championship Edition.
The statue didn't illuminate. What happened? We didn't make that statue light up. Something's wrong. That worked. Let's try the next one. The statue's already activated.
A personal. His Plato's. While the 20s roared in America, his detractors
The new statue lit up. That worked. Let's try the next one. The new statue lit up. That worked. Let's try the next one. You're a natural at puzzles. headmaster's office. I remember being here as a young girl.
Welcome back to Washington. How's the weather in your corner of the world?
What if I tell you, are you going to try to guess my location?
No, I've about given up on that. It's been insufferably hot in D.C.
Then why are we meeting here?
I'm sorry?
Why not do this on the
isn't built yet.
What? I was told construction began a month after the attack.
This is the U.S. government you're talking about. Maybe you've heard of us. Our contractors get paid twice as much to take twice as long.
Unbelievable.
Right this way, sir. Watch your step. Please, sit. Coffee?
I want a whistleblower.
Coffee?
I'm serious.
We can talk about that.
We're going to have to talk about that. If you want to hand the reins to someone who won't let the horse forget who's in charge.
I'm afraid I don't follow you.
That's your problem. You've got too many leaders and not enough followers. You should be following me. All of you should.
Okay, let's table that for a second. Say we get you a plant, and this plant blows his whistle in a year.
Or 2 months.
Or whenever. They're still not about to dismantle their entire surveillance infrastructure over some bad press.
I'm afraid you're right. This is where I need your help, Vice Admiral. If you get me on board and in command, then it won't matter how red their faces turn, or if they turn red at all. They won't have to privatize under pressure either. I'll already hold the reins. But we'll give it a name. Carnival. The Arrival. It doesn't matter. And we'll play act our way into the driver's seat.
I can't even imagine.
Leave imagination to me.
At least I think I was. Someone's coming. What do I do?
Unqualified disaster. And on the eve of the arrival, no less.
Everything is fine, sir.
Fine? You were assaulted by a Prizrak. And you let altered copies of the manifesto reach the children.
I have the situation under control.
I'm beginning to think your definition of control is different than mine. They don't respect you because you don't wear the uniform. It's a weakness. It puts you at risk. This is an historic night for us. There can be no room for error.
I understand.
Then you understand why Derringer will lead the arrival.
What?
I'm sorry, my dear. We all appreciate the fine work you do with the kids. But you lost sight of what's most important. Protecting me.
So, I can lead the arrival.
Murray, you speak the language of diplomacy. Derringer speaks the truth. Truth hurts. This isn't a dismissal. Derringer will still need your help when we get reset.
Yes, sir. The mentor is an asset to our cause. I look forward to hearing her ideas going forward.
Watch your step.
She's weak. I hope that's all it is. Where was Murray when the Prizrak attacked her?
The section, outside the library. I'll look into it.
It's hard to know who to trust these days. It seems we're running a loyalty deficit around here. I don't mean you, Quinn, of course. I know I can trust you. Wait. I never forgot this before. Must be old age.
No chance, sir. You just got a lot on your mind tonight.
Quite so. Come, young man, let's get to the surface.
It sounds like that door leads to the surface.
You just acquired a fingerprint from that glass. Normally, the Overseer wouldn't be so careless as to leave a usable print. But recently, in celebration of Zager's capture, the big man poured himself a stiff drink, and for a moment, let his guard down. Those pristine white gloves came off, and he was one of us for a day.
Master faces swift reprimand. Mireille Prideaux found with contraband. Overseer, none of us are above the law.
Miss Sade, it has been a pleasure speaking to you, but I must get up early tomorrow.
Look, I'm turning off my tape recorder. This is no longer an interview. We're just two people talking. Perhaps one more glass?
A short one, then.
Where do you get the wine from? I thought we weren't allowed contraband from the outside world.
Off the record? I have been here long enough. I am allowed certain liberties.
You receive special treatment?
I know how big my cage is. At the end of the day, we are all equally inferior in the eyes of the Overseer. Don't you dare print that, Miss Sade.
I promise. Strictly off the record.
Librarian, may I come in?
Ah, Headmaster, welcome. Ay, Dios mío, who is this fierce creature?
It's an Ainu owl, Librarian. My ancestors carved these from the amber trunks of Japanese spindle trees. I want you to have this one. Modest housewarming gift, nothing more.
Well, muchas gracias, señor. It's a handsome piece. I shall place it here on this shelf.
No. Lend it a bit more prominence. It's meant to be set out in the open.
Ah.
This way it can bring you luck.
Well, it's...
The eyes. Yes. They are a touch piercing. But that's the idea, you see. The owl is ever watchful. He will protect you day and night.
Ah, yes, well, it's truly, how can I...
Oh, you're welcome.
Gentlemen, I wish to resign. This is grossly inappropriate.
Inappropriate?
You are burning books. I have seen it with my own eyes. The books I procured for you.
Each book has been scanned into our servers and is now part of our digital catalog. You're merely hung up on nostalgia.
You are erasing history.
These books are my property now. I can do with them as I please.
No. I cannot be a party to this. I wish to leave immediately.
First you want to resign, now you want to leave?
I assume the implication was apparent.
You're not going anywhere.
You cannot keep me here against my will.
In fact, I can. You, like the books, are now property of the state. You will continue to fulfill your obligations to the pre-cals until I decide what to do with you.
I have a few suggestions, sir.
You now have what you need to access the librarian's office. I know the girl is anxious to find him.
Good idea. We can recharge here.
Welcome to my domain. Care to purchase new abilities? Come back anytime.
They won't find me in here.
No sign of the pre-cal. Nothing going. Huh?
They won't find me in here.
You can't hide from us.
Let's see what he's carrying. Nice. They won't find me in here. A new taser.
Over there.
Going in for the steal. Nothing. I should be safe here. That's more than I can carry.
The Overseer runs this library like a wild animal preserve. Look, but don't touch.
What's yours is mine.
Sputnik, sweetheart, and its protagonist, K. A dutiful man who accepts his place in the pecking order. Nothing distasteful thus far. Yet Murakami insists on criticizing the social mold that makes a man valuable at all. Effective coercion works within, but knowing so much is not in our citizens' best interests. Box this up, librarian.
The girl is no doubt anxious to see the librarian. You now have what you need to access the librarian's office. I suggest you return to the library. His office door is located on the second floor.
A caterwaul for pulp and glue fetishists. Those bleeding hearts decry book burning, yet fail to cross-check their e-readers. We can alter the digital version with profound sleight of hand. No smoke, no ash, but the effect is the same. And all at a temperature more manageable than Fahrenheit 451. I'll spare you the irony of burning this one, librarian. Technology has done your job for you.
I'll hold on to this.
A retro styling of the horror genre. You wake up in a strange house with no memory of how you got there. More troubling, you quickly discover a dead body nearby, and clues in the room seem to implicate you. The end is rather controversial, but I thought it was excellent. A word of warning. Home is scary, so keep a change of pants nearby.
found a cassette.
Check in.
I hope they can't see me here.
Nothing to report.
Quiet tonight.
He's just up these stairs. Librarian! Librarian! Senor Octavo? Librarian! Oh no! This isn't real. You're making it up. Stop it. It's okay.
Who's that?
I shouldn't watch this.
The girl activated a video that appears to have been recorded only moments ago. I presume it relates to the dead librarian. It's important that we determine what happened. However, she's not accustomed to witnessing violence. It's difficult to anticipate how it will affect her.
Senor Octavo, just the man I want to see.
Hello, Derringer. To what do I owe this pleasure?
Good book.
It is a classic.
Not just a classic. I mean, it's actually good.
How can I help you?
Why does this guy, Edmond Dantes?
Dante.
Dante, right. Why does this guy tell Maximilian that his girl is dead?
For revenge.
No, Maximilian's his friend.
Yes, you are. You're right, of course.
Damn it, man. You have read this, haven't you?
Of course, yes. It has been a while.
Why does Dantes put his friend through so much misery?
I think the point is to teach a lesson. You cannot know happiness unless you have been exposed to tragedy.
Can't know hope without despair.
I believe that is it, yes.
Kind of like the pre-cows. They don't know up from down, good from bad. They got no perspective because they don't have a clue about the outside. Or do they?
This is an intriguing intellectual exercise, Derringer, but it is late and I...
Why'd you give the kids the Poison Manifesto?
I did not.
What do you do in that hidden room downstairs?
What room?
Think we can't hear that god-awful music bleeding through the walls?
I just read and...
Reading Sega's trash!
I have seen it, yes, but I would never act on it.
Spying against us.
No.
You were planning to help the children escape.
No, Derringer,
Where the hell do you think you're going?
What happened?
Senor Octavo?
Un momento. Buenos días.
You Senor Octavo?
Sí, I am Luis Octavo, yes.
My name's Quinn Derringer. My employer contacted you.
Yes, of course. The mystery man who pays me twice what I ask. Did he receive the books yet?
He did. And he thanks you. He'd like to thank you personally.
Of course. Tell him to come in at any time.
He's not in Buenos Aires. Is your passport in order?
My passport? What is this about?
My employer has some more work for you.
Mystery man? What sort of work?
That's the mystery.
Well, where would I go? Oh, impossible. I cannot close my shop.
My employer thinks you can. He'll pay whatever you ask.
He doesn't even know my price.
But he knows you have one. You got a number in your head, senor?
I do.
Good. Double it. Where's your passport at?
Oh, no. Wait a minute. How long will I be gone?
Just a few days. I promise.
Situation is clear.
I'm a little relieved you chose not to show that video to the girl. Still, it feels a bit like censorship, keeping it from her.
I'll hold on to this. This. Dear Senor Octavo, thank you so very much for giving me a copy of Labyrinths by Borgia. Each of the stories was fascinating. I especially enjoyed the one called The Library of Babel. It made me think of you, surrounded by all those books, overwhelmed with the infinite number of ideas they contain. and left wondering which books contain the truth and which are false. Is it true you knew Borgia and discussed literature with him? If so, I am positively envious. Thank you again for the stimulating read. Your friend, 390H.
Situation is clear.
I don't have room for anything else.
Nothing. Huh?
Trouble, Weep.
No, we're not. He would never turn us over to Mireille.
He might if he caught us smoking his cigarettes.
Don't drag on it so long.
How do you know about this stuff?
I read a book.
One of Senor Octavo's books?
No, it was the manifesto. He has a whole chapter dedicated to smoking.
You're making fun of me.
What the hell's up with that bird?
A Zager cassette.
Nothing.
Paine is best read as a comedian librarian. For Paine, constitutions come from rights, charters create chaos, and monarchs require oversight against corruption from all whose interests fall short of the state's well-being. We are beyond constitutions, charters, even monarchs. We are communication itself. These so-called rights of man must not radicalize anyone into thinking otherwise.
go. Going. No sign of the pre-cal. Nothing going. Situation is clear.
Good idea. My battery was getting low.
Welcome to my domain. Care to purchase new? Listen in on voicemail messages. Come back anytime.
Good.
This is no mere piece of paper. It is an escape plan. A blueprint for a key. A master key. Capable of unlocking any number of doors inside this facility. But that is not all. In the garden, there is a gate to the outside world. A gate to freedom. This key, I am told, will unlock that gate.
I'll hold on to this.
But Senior Octavo...
Shh. Un momento. Go ahead, 933W.
You can't stay here.
I'm too old to be tilting at windmills.
But you don't know what the headmaster is capable of.
Sadly, I know all too well. History abounds with men like the Overseer.
He will kill you. Recalibrate you.
Were I 30 years younger, things would be different. I would hew to the line that Zager has drawn. But today, I am merely an old academic with failing eyesight. I doubt I can even see the line.
I'll come back for you. For all of you.
Why, 933W, I find your compassion extraordinary.
Call me Weep. I'm not a number anymore.
A blueprint of the Overseer's master key. The librarian suggested this key is required to escape from the facility. I know of a 3D printer located in archives. With this blueprint, the girl can manufacture a key.
What's that?
Oh no, Prisrak. And let go! Going in to pick his pockets. Nice. I hope they can't see me here.
Place is quiet. Get that threat level up.
A screwdriver. This should come in handy. found a taser.
Threat level normal. Proceed with caution.
All's quiet here. Check in.
The screwdriver just broke. That's more than I can carry.
Sadly, overt fascism continues unchecked in many parts of the world. As a journalist, Zager covered atrocities like this one before he ever snuck inside Metamorphosis. These stories only further fueled his outrage. Zager was busy designing his own manifesto. Not to be outdone by the Overseer, our man Zager had printed his own first edition before his untimely death. I guess Zager didn't appreciate the owl gift. Holy 1990s. It's an old cardboard standee. Just a nostalgic keepsake from one of the Overseer's bookstore signings. I don't know where Zager found this life-sized embarrassment, but it appears he was using it for target practice.
Good.
I don't have room for anything else.
Know your enemies. I'm not talking about those that come at you with clenched fists, but with open arms. I'm not talking about that creepy old Victorian on the hill with the rickety shutter and the murder crows perched on the roof.
Good.
No, that's too easy to see. I'm talking about the charming Mediterranean split level with the 2.5 kids in the yard. The one that looks warm and inviting, and you don't realize you're in a frame until you step inside and that big door swings shut on you. That is the real House of Horrors. Not Derringer. No, Derringer. A blind man could see through his brand of corporate evil. I'm talking about Treglazov. I'm talking about his mouthpiece, Maddie Sade, a resident journalist. A woman who's literally in bed with the Overseer. Or has been. People talk. Anyway. I don't know what kind of journalist she was on the outside, but she's certainly sold her soul 1,000 times over in here. And what makes her so insidious is that she's too damn pretty. She's the plastic that'll melt first and cause a grease fire when the revolution heats up. She tells her lies through a megawatt smile. But for now, she's more dangerous than Derringer or any of those masked chumps. Even Mireille and all her empty promises have got nothing on Maddie. Actually, bad example. Mireille has got something on everyone. I've seen the files. Huh. You know? That gives me an idea.
Nothing to report.
Zager here. Today, all Prizrak were required to report to the reading room for a mandatory audience with the Overseer. Wait, I'm sorry, correction. The few and the proud were pleasantly surprised to find themselves graced by a visit from the Big Cheese himself. His Majesty treated our hometown heroes to a few select passages from his manifesto. And after all the applause, he even sat down to sign a few copies. So about this time, I'm off. I'm wandering the halls, doing a bit of reconnaissance when some FOB Prizrak found me and dragged me along. As luck would have it, I had a manifesto with me. But it wasn't any old manifesto. It was mine. The edited version, where the pages are filled with righteous invective and disciplined truth. Like I've said before, my manifesto is the old man's death warrant. A summons for all the evil he's wrought into this place and beyond. Well, at least it will be once I can crank out enough copies. I'm kind of running a one-man opera here. Where was I? Oh yeah. So, all of a sudden here I am, being hustled up to the podium to meet the man himself. And before I can hide the book, he snatches it out of my hands, opens it up to the first page. Behind the mask, I'm white as a sheet. I'm waiting for him to look down to see my, improvements. I froze. And he just smiles that big plastic smile at me and kissed me as John Hancock under the words, "Best wishes." So he hands it over. Off I go, and, well, here I am. I wonder if that smug Treglazov could appreciate the irony of signing his own death warrant. I know I do. I have a treat for you today, kids. Today, I have got a book review for you. No, it's not the manifesto. It's one of the Overseer's earlier efforts. It's a little self-help manual from the late 90s with this rather dubious title. There it is. Defrag Your Mind. The Pursuit of Happiness in a Computer Age. This could be the biggest waste of printed pages ever to burden a bookshelf. I mean, this makes Mein Kampf look like Anne of Green Gables. Now, on page 1, he states, and I'm quoting here, "Disorganization is the single greatest threat to the continued existence of modern society." So, not genocide, not nuclear proliferation, not government oppression, not Wall Street. Clutter! Oh, man. I wish you could see this. This is got to be the ugliest dust jacket photo I've ever seen. Awful tie, worse haircut, nice sweater, jerk. This book starts by reminding us that we're all essentially supercomputers with an emphasis on the word super. It's cute. Next, he explains how we can simplify our lives, be even happier, by cleansing our minds of thoughts that are hold on, impure on the level of psychological honesty and filled with resentment and spiritual shallowness. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, this book is all about the whitewashing of the ugly truth and recasting it as beautiful lies. He thinks clutter's the problem. Well, I'd hate for him to see this place. Although, on second thought, maybe I should invite him over sometime for a little glasnost. Blow his mind. Literally. All right, I gotta go. This is Zager, reminding you, don't trust anybody. Not even me. The only thing you're in charge of are the thoughts crashing around in your head. Everything else is beyond your control. But there are those who believe control can be rebranded, repackaged as participation, and that by doing this, the people will fall in line. See, they believe our actions can be made predictable, predetermined. They think they're God. They play the part, but they're nothing like God. You know, they do, however, share a thing or two with the devil. Our fearless leader here in Metamorphosis, for example, like the devil, he goes by many names. Sir, Treglazov, Headmaster, Overseer. He's never met a man whose will he didn't try to bend the way a prism bends light, or break a man the way the gauchos break a horse. But the more he wraps the reins tighter in his small, meaty, sweaty little fists, the more they slip through his fingers. Because the Overseer, he doesn't know that a man cannot be tamed. A man cannot be controlled. And to drive a man toward domestication is to drive him over the edge, as my ex-wives can attest to. And man, beyond that cliff is pure chaos. Endless, terrifying, and honest. Chaos is a plain dealer. Now, the Overseer has a slight obsession with purity, if you haven't noticed, but control ain't pure. It's oily and unctuous and slithery and full of deceit and lies. Now, chaos, well, that's as pure as mountain spring water, as right as rain. The old man is oil,
Situation is
and
clear.
I'm water, so it's no wonder we don't mix so well. So I say, it's time we give our fearless leader a taste of real purity. Right? Let's rain down chaos in this place and wash away all the lies. This is Zager reminding you, don't trust anyone. Not even me. Zager here. Now, to all of you budding revolutionaries, I wanted to give a word of advice. The best way to fight fire is with more fire. Why do protests fail? Well, protests fail because the protesters bring knives to a gunfight. Nobody listens to a knife. If you want to get the Prizrak's attention, you need to learn to speak their language. And a charged taser or a full canister of P0 says plenty more than the verse-chorus verse of Kumbaya. I mean, what are you going to do? Kill them with kindness? Good luck. A revolt should be revolting. Violence is the only language these men speak, and brutality is their only currency. So, pay them back with the business end of a taser. Oh, they'll feel it in the morning. Believe me, I know. I have been tased and pepper sprayed more times than I care to remember. I was at a WTO protest once. I got hit in the eyes with so much capsaicin, it melted my contacts. It hurts. And that's the point. Because it hurts them too. Listen, the uprising begins the moment you are willing to fight fire with fire. This is what you have to do. Destiny's online too, so pick up the phone already. This is Sager telling you not to say peace. Because peace is for chumps.
No sign of the girl.
Good idea. We can recharge here.
Welcome to my domain. What are you buying? Sorry to see you go.
No sign of the girl. Frizz rack checking in.
Reporting. All's quiet here.
Now I think we need to configure the blueprint. We did it. This key's identical to the one the headmaster used in his office. Let's go there now.
The girl has the key. Let's get her to the surface. Head back to the overseer's office.
Another quiet night.
If only there's an laptop over here.
It's been a long time since I allowed someone to speak to me this way, librarian.
I will not shy away from telling you what I see. You are the dark ruler of this world, Overseer.
This isn't a world, yet. Merely a small corner of it. And the darkness you perceive persists only because you refuse to open your eyes. Now, if you will excuse me, I must tend to more pressing matters in the terminus. You don't have access to this part of the complex, so I will bid you farewell. Unless... would you care to see what we've been working on?
Not in the least. It is unreal to me. If I cannot hold it in my hands and smell the history in its pages, it is not there. I don't know what you do, and I don't care. But I do know fascism when I see it. I am well versed in the struggles against it. And I know that you will ultimately fail, as all fascists have failed.
Watch your step.
I will not. You must know this. You're nearly as old as me, but still so naive in the ways of the world. Control is illusory, Overseer. Your network, whatever you call it, I call it a trap. It will not catch everyone. And the ones who slip through it will regroup and stand against you someday. You think because of your fancy computers and your expensive surveillance that you can succeed with those who rose to power in the 20th century failed? You are naive. Control is a lie.
Control is the linchpin of a safe society. We fall apart without it. Now, as you can't seem to control your own emotions, librarian, I'm confident you don't recognize a need for control in society. Good day, sir.
There's an elevator on the other side of the atrium. It's probably the girl's best chance for getting to the surface.
An elevator. It must lead to the way out. So many buttons. The ninth floor. The top. The surface. No. Why are we stopping? Can you do something here?
I've been looking for you.
No!
Calm down. Calm down, or I'll have to tase you.
Help! Help!
Citizens of Metamorphosis, words fail me tonight. I cannot rightfully describe the bleak, chasmal longing that echoes through my heart. Our beloved librarian, Senor Luis Octavo, has passed away. Derringer paid him a visit earlier this evening, hoping to discuss his exciting new role as cultural attaché. Instead, he found the senor lying prone on his office floor, his heart failing. Ever valiant, Derringer sprang into action. He tried desperately to save the poor man. Sadly, it was too late. The librarian succumbed to the great unknown, cradled in Derringer's arms. But in a final act of appreciation, his words, I'm sorry. His last words, as he looked up at Derringer, were, "Thank you." As I'm sure has been reported, Senor Octavo and I did not always see eye to eye. Still, I made it a point to listen to his thoughtful and honest assessments of our fair Republique. He was especially critical of our prized surveillance infrastructure. I regret that I wasn't ever able to persuade him of its importance. I learned at an early age to never speak ill of the dead. I must hold my tongue now. But I will say this, for it pains me too greatly to keep it to myself. Had our security been more robust, Luis Octavo would still be alive. A camera is an asset to our superior way of life. But what use is a camera without a good pair of eyes to monitor the feed? Had someone seen the librarian collapse, they could have reached him in time. I am confident the arrival will help improve security in the future, and thus assure us greater safety going forward. Thank you for listening. And good night, librarian. We mourn your loss, but we celebrate your life with an equal passion.